Friday the 9th, and beautiful sunshine outside, but it's been a pretty rough night, and it's still very rough. The weather forecast is talking about gale warnings in this area. We're 100 miles, or just over 100 miles west of Coos Bay, which is just north of Cape Blanco, which is somewhere that we always try to sail well offshore. And south of Cape Blanco is Cape Mendocino, and those two have got quite a well-deserved reputation for bad weather. So I always stay well offshore anyway, whatever the situation. If I'm coming down towards San Francisco, I normally come offshore. It's actually way safer to be offshore than it is inshore. No rocks, no worries, no river bars that get closed in bad weather. So yeah, it's been quite a rough evening, rough night. I did manage to, well, the boom did swing across at one point in the big seas. They're pretty big, 10, 12 feet. So what's that, 3-4 meters. And at one point the boom swung across, which of course, is not a good thing. So I hadn't put the preventer on, which I'd been meaning to, and just hadn't got around to, and should have done. Really bad, that. But anyway, so I then jibed the main for sure. We're on port tack, so the wind's coming in over the port side of the boat. And I made sure that I have the preventer on now, so I know that the boom can't come to, it can't swing over unexpectedly with the wind, because we are running pretty well downwind. There's a north wind, we're heading south, and so that's the problem. If the wind gets behind the sail, it tries to pull the boom over. Fortunately, I didn't have it completely out, so yeah, not too bad. And I had also made sure that I'd got rid of my running backstay, which would otherwise possibly have caused a major problem if I'd had it in the wrong place at the wrong time. So we're just running with the staysail and two reefs in the main, quite a deep second reef, and that seems to be fine. We've pretty well been on that all the way down, even despite these strong winds, which have frequently been 25 to 30, which they are now. Predicted to go maybe by tomorrow, might get to 35, we'll see. But I feel quite happy that the boat will cope. We're set up in a way that will be fine. So what else to say? Oh, the other big news, of course, was my radio. So many people go off cruising with, I don't know, Iridium Go and things like that. I'm on my ham radio, and I've got a group of people that are listening to me and putting in the odd suggestion from time to time. What's happened with my radio is that I've actually found it impossible to transmit on the Pacific Seafarers Net. I check into that every night. It's at 0300 Zulu UTC, which is at 8 p.m. Here where I am. So that's quite a nice time of night. And normally I check in, give my position, give the weather, and they relay that to whoever's interested in the weather side of things, especially. But I suddenly found earlier in the night, or early in the day yesterday, in fact, I was talking to someone on that same frequency, and suddenly I found I wasn't transmitting. One moment I was, the next moment I wasn't. And since then, I have been unable to transmit on that frequency. Fortunately, on the other main frequency that I chat to people on over the day, like in the morning now, I've just finished chatting to some people on 7155 kilohertz. That band is still transmitting fine. So I am getting out and getting through to people, and I'm able to give my position and things like that. Last night, because I couldn't get hold of the Pacific Seafarers, I could hear them, I can hear everyone beautifully, but I can't get out except on this one band. So I came up on frequency in the evening afterwards, and I heard some guys chatting on the radio, so I called to them. And one person, one station up in BC, up in British Columbia, VA7 CUP, he heard me quite clearly, I heard him quite clearly, and so I asked him, can he please send an email to the Pacific Seafarers Net people to let them know that yes, I could hear them, I was fine. For some reason, someone there seemed to think I might have pulled in because of the bad weather, the strong winds that were forecast, but I hadn't. I don't know where he got that idea from, because 25 knots is not that bad. Anyway, so very kindly, Rick, VA7CUP, he took down my position, took down the details, the weather and such like that I would have given to the Pacific Seafarers Net, and he came back later to assure me that he'd sent the email off to them, so they know that I'm fine. I can hear them. I will be coming up on frequency, but if they want to speak to me to get my input, my position and details, then they can come up on this other frequency, 7155 I've suggested, and they can get the information there and talk to me and make sure that everything's okay, which I'm sure it will be. We have really been thrown about a lot, because I mean the seas have just been so rough and so big and so close together that the boat's really been thrown around. At the moment it's calm for a moment, but a few moments ago it was not calm and we were being thrown around again. I'm actually sitting in my bunk here, and there we go. Let's try to show you my bunk if I can. And it's a very safe place to be. This is the only other place other than the galley floor that I found was a possibility to sleep in. I suddenly realised that I put back my nicely cleaned lee cloth, and so I got that out, tied it up, and got my sleeping bag here. So it's quite nice to have a decent bunk to sleep on and just to sit on, to be in. And it's on the starboard side of the boat, so fortunately that's the ideal side with the wind, with the way the boat is heeling at the moment. Anyway, what else to say? Well, yeah, I've got my stick of celery somewhere here, just finishing that, and I've got myself a nice coffee, and where's my coffee? There's my coffee from my lovely mug that I was given when I got back in 2019. Very nice orca there, native style painting there, diagram. So my coffee, I'm sitting in my bunk. I think I'm going to get to reading. Oh, there's my stick of celery. It was on my leg. I've got my legs on the table here to make sure I stay safe, because although we're heeling over mostly in a good way most of the time, every now and then you get taken the other way, so you really have to be ready for that. So putting my feet up on the table is wedging myself in, no problems. I'm going to stay safe, whatever. Okay, so I'm enjoying my celery. I'm about to have a bit of cheese as well, some very nice cheddar cheese, English cheddar cheese, proper cheddar cheese. And I've got a nice cup of coffee, and then I think I'm going to get a book to read, or I might have a sleep. Bit of both. Okay, that's it for the moment. So this is the Friday morning report, and hopefully everything will be fine. Lovely sunny day, but just a bit rough. Bye for now.